Hey everybody, welcome back. Alright, so this video is going to be covering our drain for the washing machine. So these parts all come apart. I need to have it dry fitted for right now. Okay. What you're going to want to do is get some purple primer and some PVC cement. I usually get them in a 2-pack because, well, you're going to use both. I've got a coupling here if I need it. Got some 1.5-inch PVC pipe. The rest of this is 2-inch. This is a 2-inch trap. Building code stipulates that we need a 2-inch drain stack for our washing machine for that drain line to go in. So it also needs to have a flush out, clean out, which is this gasketed square piece right there. So the other thing is, which I don't see, I need a tape measure. So I will grab one of those here in a minute, because we want to go from the finished floor up at least 6 inches before this trap takes place. So it's going to sit up like that. That's stipulated by code. Now, obviously what I'm sitting on is not finished floor. This is subfloor. We're going to be putting down a layer of backer board, concrete board on top of this, and then tile. So to ensure I'm at least 6 inches up, I'm going to actually measure 12 inches. I'm sorry, 9 inches up from the subfloor. That's going to give me a 3-inch buffer on that tile. So that'll give me plenty of room for code as well as to flush that out. So the other thing it stipulates is it must have a vent on your stack. So what I have here is I have our rough end right there. It's a 2-inch drain. We've got our 2-inch trap, our 2-inch stack. The washing machine hose will stick into that and stick down into it. What we need to do is add a sanitary tee, which is this thing right here, and we want 2-inch, 2-inch, and 1.5 inch. The 1.5 inch is for our vent. Now we are not going all the way up 2 stories through the roof line on this thing. That would be a lot of PVC, and well, I'm not putting a hole in the roof. So instead, what we're going to be using is one of these things right here. It comes as a kit, usually sitting in a box like that. It's called a Sure Vent. This particular one's made by a company called Odie. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sponsored by them. This is not an endorsement, by the way, or paid advertisement. It just happens to be the vent brand that my big box store, home improvement store, had. So we're going to be using it. It has a one-way valve on there. It allows air in but not air out, so we don't have to worry about sewer gases. It also meets building code. It will screw into here with some Teflon tape, and then our 1.5 inch PVC will get cemented right in here, and it will stick on top like that. That obviously is tall. We'll cut that down, but that will screw into the top, and it gives us our venting. All of that's going to be on the laundry room side of this wall cavity, and the reason for that is code requires that this entire system is accessible. So either I put in a cabinet here behind our washing machine to try to hide it, which is going to be a pain in the butt, an access panel, again, pain in the butt, or I simply put it in on the room side and finished off the wall right behind it, which you can probably imagine is what I'm going to do, because it's going to be the easiest to do. The other reason for that is, I'm not sure how well you can see it with this angle, but that right there is the original mud sill to the house, the kitchen part that I'm sitting in. was added on at some point in time. So in order for me to bury all of this into the wall cavity, which would be nice, I would have to cut out a large section of that original mud sill, and I'm just not going to do it. So that's how that's going to work. Now, let's get to it. I'm going to find a tape measure. Alright, so here we have it. Our finished drain. Now, we have a lot of play in here because the basement part of this is not finished yet. I'm waiting on a piece to come in, and it's not here. It's for the water softener, brine drain. So, but I'm getting everything else done that I can. So these two straps are temporary, simply to hold this in place, relieve some stress off of these joints, and keep it intact. Also, due to construction, we don't want to hit it and knock it and that kind of thing. So simple straps, just holding it, relieving some stress. But this is how it looks. What we'll end up doing is we will clean it nice before we finish off our wall, probably after we finish off our wall, and should be good to go. So if the drain doesn't flow properly, then obviously right now it's not going to flow properly because this is at the wrong angle. But once our finished wall is in place, as well as the rest of the drain system, this will be very rigid and won't adjust. This will be at our nice downhill grade, and it will sit up. Actually, you can see how it's going to sit up. It's going to be just that side of this beam that's upright. So, well, right now that's the way it is. I'm actually going to add another screw in here, I think, just to keep it upright more. Nah, probably not actually. It's pretty good for now. So stay tuned. We'll get more of this drain system in place in the basement, as well as over for our sink. We're putting in a dishwasher and a garbage disposal. So the dishwasher drain plumps into the garbage disposal, which is attached to the bottom of the sink, one of the sink basins. So that all will get put together after our cabinetry is in place and that sink's in place. But the rough end has to be there first before we can finish that off. So we'll be doing that in an upcoming video as well. If you got any questions about this setup for putting in your washing machine drain, let me know in the comments. Also, you'll see a drain box or a plumbing box behind a washing machine. That is standard practice in most areas. It's not required for this area, but it is pretty standard. What it does is it hides all of this in your wall cavity, and you just see your hot water, your cold water, and your stack. That's all you see when you're looking at the wall. However, behind those, that should come off so you can access the rest, or lower down there should be an access panel so you can get to this plug right here. If there isn't, you probably don't have this plug, or it's accessible through a crawl space or a basement. So You got to have access to that plug so you can clean this out if it ever gets clogged, and you got to have access to that vent valve right there. So that's it for this video. Check out the rest in this playlist covering our remodel. And this is Timothy Holt with Holt Growers. And God bless you.